Welcome to episode 14 of Garrett's Football Show. As usual, again, I hope I don't have to say it, but just in case I do, I'm your host, Garrett Sims. And this week on Garrett's Football Show, we're going to be keeping it under 40 minutes again. We're going to get better at time, give you guys exactly what you need, and get you guys out like the promise I made week one. We're going to keep living up to that for the rest of Garrett's Football Show. Steelers as usual, Colts as usual. Sadly, we're going to get into how much the Colts are going to be usual for the rest of Garrett's Football Show. But then we're going to do Dolphins 49ers. We're going to talk about that Bengals game. And then we're going to do notable conversations, bringing bets back. Then we're going to do fantasy, and we're going to call that an episode. But first, let's get into last week's predictions. Garrett's Football Show is finally hitting a stride. I'm in my mode. So if you haven't watched any Garrett's Football Show and you're seeing this clip, this is your sign. Go to YouTube and watch a full episode of Garrett's Football Show. Just type in Garrett's Football Show in the search bar and watch a full episode. Because last week I went 10-4-1, which I feel like we should. Are you guys gonna let me call that 11-4-1? There was a tie, the Commanders-Giants game. No one was gonna call that. No sports analyst was gonna call that. So can we make that 11-4? I'm gonna say 11-4, but just to be specific, 10-4-1. Last week before that, I went 10-6. The week before that, I went 10-4. 3 weeks in a row. 10 correct guesses on the predictions. Hey, numbers don't lie, you know. People lie, women lie, men lie, numbers don't. And if you're looking at the numbers of Garrett's Football Show, it sounds like I know what I'm talking about football. And all the games I was wrong about, I'm happy I was wrong because they were great games. Raiders beat the Chargers. The Raiders are on a 3-game win streak, and if you're anything like me, you didn't know it. The Bengals beat the Chiefs. We're going to get to that. 49ers beat the Dolphins. We're going to get to that. So, I mean, hey. It's a good day to be the host of Garrett's Football Show. It's a good day to be... I'm sorry about that. My dog is upstairs going crazy. Yeah, nothing's wrong with him. He's just crazy and a puppy, so... I have no guest here with me. He'll probably be my unofficial guest because I'm sure you guys will hear him bark a few times. Bear with it. But, yeah, like I said, back to what I was saying, it's a great day to be host of Garrett's Football Show. Great day to be a football fan. And it's a great day, most importantly, to be a Steelers fan, you know. If the Colts aren't going to do anything for me, the Steelers are, and that's what I can be happy about. On Sunday, we beat the Atlanta Falcons. I said that would be a good game for us because the Falcons are close and competitive every game, and it was. Pickett, it's the same as I've been saying the last 4 or 5 weeks. He's getting more command of the offense, and honestly, I'm happier with Matt Canada's play calling, and I think he's even getting more comfortable with Pickett and trusting Pickett more and let Pickett cook a little bit more. Like I said, that should have been Pickett's little mantra instead of Trussell Wilson. I just made that up, Trussell Wilson, Russell Wilson. That didn't sound as good as it did in my head, but move on. I'm getting happier with Matt Canada's play calling because I feel like he's opening the offense more, making smarter decisions when he calls runs, and I think Najee's playing better, so it's making him look better. But let's just get back to Pickett. We scored every single time we got the ball in the first half. They were just field goals instead of touchdowns. His decision-making skill is better and better. He seems like he's controlled the offense. He seems comfortable. And right now, the Steelers are catching a little stride. And, I mean, I'm having a good time watching the Steelers every week. And like I said, win or lose, I feel like that's really what it's about for me right now with the Steelers for the rest of the season. Am I having fun? Is Pickett getting better? Is he getting more, what's the word I'm looking for? More comfortable with the receivers. And, I mean, every single week that's happening. Najee had a really good game after coming out at the end of that Monday game against the Colts. And in my opinion, he had his most complete and physical game of the season. He had a lot of, I think, 17 touches for 87 yards, which doesn't look good on paper, but it's physical running. It's Najee running that he was last year, you know, a lot of touches and good yardage when we need him to. And I think he averaged 5 yards carry in that game. That's all we need from Najee, you know. Go get hard yards. Go get 5 yards to carry. Don't be weak. Make a decision when you run, and don't look scared. And I feel like he didn't look scared, which is crazy because he came out on Monday, played out an early week, and like I said, his best, most physical game. And then 197 yards passing and 150 yards rushing completely for the team. That's just balanced football. Steeler football. Those drives were like around 10 minutes a drive. And that's Steelers football, running out the clock so the other team doesn't even have the chance to get the ball. And and another thing that was big to me, how many options we have on receiver, because Pickett's had a quiet game. I think like 2 targets, 1 catch for like 8 yards, and Freiermuth and Johnson stepped up and had big games. Freiermuth and Johnson stepped up and had big games. So that's another thing I've been saying all season is we have a lot of receivers. We have a lot of talent where we can win with a lot of different people. The Steelers are more dangerous than you think. I'm trying to tell you guys, and you guys won't listen. The Steelers are more dangerous than you think. And, I mean, they tried to scare me there. The Steelers did at the end. Our defense was letting the Falcons run on us in those last few drives of the fourth quarter. The Falcons had a chance to win, but our defense stepped up, got the interception in the first play of the last drive of the game, and it just completely shut the lights out, got us the win. Like I said, our definition, or my definition that I gave, or my equation that I gave for the Steelers being able to win every week, it's been happening ever since I said it after our bye week. A turnover and good defense, plus our offense not making any mistakes, and now they're not doing more than making mistakes. We're kind of living with our offense. So you got defense coming up big, 1 or 2 stops a game, no mistakes from no mistakes from the offense is going to equal our Steelers win 90% of the time since our bye week. We've only lost 1 time since the bye week. Let me make sure I'm sure about that so I'm not giving you guys any false information. Yeah, New Orleans, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Atlanta. We beat New Orleans. We lost to Cincinnati in a close game that if we were scoring touchdowns in the red zone, we would have won. And we had we further equation that Cincinnati game too. We just didn't come out with the win. But Indianapolis, Atlanta, all those games we've had a turnover from our defense. Pickett has played extremely well, extremely quality football. He's not getting interceptions, he's not making mistakes, and he's driving us down the field, and we win. So it's like I'm continue to be confident that if he does that and continues to do that, we are going to continue to win. We are going to continue to look like a better football team each week. But the biggest thing with the Steelers right now, and that I can say that is a negative, and there hasn't been a lot of negatives for the Steelers lately, but finish in the red zone. And I know it's not easy to do. I know it's easier said than done. Seeing people score is way easier than what it really is. But the last 2 weeks, if we finished in the red zone and got touchdowns instead of field goals, we would be blowing teams out and surprising the entire NFL world. We'd be on ESPN. We'd be on First Take. We'd be on Skip and Shannon. Because like I said earlier a couple minutes ago, in the first half, every single time we got the ball, we scored. A field goal, not a touchdown, but we scored. That's impressive. I think that's 5 times you got the ball, like 4 field goals, 1 touchdown. We get 3 touchdowns. You go into halftime, and the game is not over, but it makes these teams are fighting a way bigger battle, and as a Steelers fan, you're not scared at the end of the game watching us play. So it's just finishing in the red zone is the biggest and probably like the only criticism or critique that I could have against the Steelers the last couple weeks. Mike Tomlin is Mike Tomlin. The Steelers are the Steelers. I'm going to be continuing to talk about the Steelers because they're exciting right now. They're getting better each week. And I can't wait to come back to these Garretts football episodes when the Steelers are in the AFC Championship and about to get to the Super Bowl because it's going to make me look really good because, this commentary right now is quality. I'm calling shit. If only I could talk about the Steelers for all of my teams. But I'm a Colts fan. If you've watched any Garretts football show, I'm from Indianapolis. We're 9 minutes and 52 seconds in on the show right now. We're not going to talk about the Colts for a long time. We played the Cowboys on Sunday. I said that's a game for the NFL is giving to alley-oop the Cowboys to slam dunk and get everyone excited. And, yeah, they slam dunked our dumbasses. That was the most embarrassing. If my voice is monotone and boring for the next 4 or 5 minutes, I'm doing it on purpose. That was the most embarrassing loss I've seen in a while. I want us to lose and tank, but not that bad. And we're just weak as a team. There's really nothing else that I really know to say about it. Matt Ryan had 3 interceptions. We lost 2 fumbles, one of them being a disrespectful snatched ball from Alec Pierce, I think. Made him look like a little boy. Just took the ball and just snatched it from him, and I don't even know. Maybe he pushed him down and called him a name afterwards. No disrespect to Alec Pierce. I think you're a great rookie, great wide receiver. I'm just calling it how I saw it, sitting and watching my TV. That was like the icing on the cake. Just that was like a highlight moment of that game for me when they snatched that ball right out of his hand, because it just made us look like babies. Made the city look like babies. When the fourth quarter, and I didn't even mention this. When the fourth quarter started, we were down by I think 10 points. 7 points. It was a good game. And then now, this is important. I'm gonna clip this. I'm going to read to you guys the play-by-play once the fourth quarter started. This is going to be amazing shit. It's crazy shit how bad this looks when I'm going to read this out to you. And this was Sunday night, by the way, so all of America was watching why the Cowboys did this to us. So, and the final score is 54-19. You would think this was a high school football game. No, these are NFL players that get paid millions of dollars. Yeah. When the fourth quarter started, let's look at this. Nope, this is the end of the third quarter. Yep. Here we go. When the fourth quarter started, it was 19-28. It's a 9-point game. We're still in that game. It looks good. We were looking to have the same game the Colts have had all year. Fourth quarter comeback. We're either going to make a drive in the fourth quarter or we're not. So if you were a Colts fan watching that game at the end of the fourth quarter, your feelings were the same feelings they've been for every Colts game. Where at the fourth quarter, Matt Ryan has to make a drive, a couple drives. If he makes them, we win. If he doesn't, we lose. Kind of frustrating, but you can live with it. Then here's what happened. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Cowboys had the ball. They got a touchdown. Then we got the ball, and we fumbled. And the Cowboys returned it for a touchdown. Then we got the ball back, and Matt Ryan threw an interception. Then the Cowboys got the ball again, and they got a touchdown. Then we got the ball again, and Matt Ryan threw an interception. Then the Cowboys got the ball again, and they threw a touchdown. Then we got the ball again, and I think that's the one where Alec Pierce fumbled it. He didn't fumble it. He got the ball snatched from him like a little brother playing football, backyard football, with his older brother that's like 7 years older than him. And then the Cowboys got another touchdown, and then we got the ball, and it was the end of the game. We were saved by the bell. We weren't even able to turn it over again. So, in the fourth quarter, we got the ball 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And we turned it over 4 times. I don't even want to say commentary. I don't even want to say, I have in my notes, poor Jeff Saturday, because he's a genuine guy, and I think he wanted to come on the team. But, you have no coaching experience, and I think it's showing to anybody in the world. I have Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay got rid of everyone, and Jeff Saturday's probably not going to be our coach next year. But Jim Irsay's not leaving. So what's the future for next year? It's the same thing I've been saying. We need a QB. We need a coach. We need an offensive coordinator. We need patience and a stable organization. And a sign of a stable organization is how they build back after losing key players. The sign of a stable organization in any sport is what you do. It's not about the players. It's about how the organization is run and what you do with the players you have. 15 minutes, I could sit here and speak about all the things wrong with the Colts, all the things we're going to have to do next year to get better, but it's just not fun. You're seeing it. We just look like shit. And I don't even want to talk about what we got to do to fix it. I don't want to get into specifics about why we look like shit. We just got beat 54-19 in a game that was 10 points in the fourth quarter. We let a team score 33 points on us in the fourth quarter. What am I supposed to say? I don't know what analysis I'm supposed to give. We fucking suck. That's the analysis. No more Colts talk. On to teams to talk about. Like, let's just move on. Hold on, let me just breathe a little bit. It's crazy. I'm thinking about it again, and I'm just putting myself back there on that Sunday night, just sitting in bed watching that game. Let me take a little bit. I'm sorry for the silence that's about to come on Garretts Football Show. Let me just take a little bit to get myself excited to talk about the rest of the NFL and try to put my head out of the Indianapolis Colts and my hometown team. All right, I had to breathe. I'm feeling better already. Teams to talk about. 16 minutes in, right at the dot. That's perfect. Dolphins and 49ers. And last week I was saying that I thought this game would be a QB battle, but it proved that defense wins games. It was only 4 offensive touchdowns combined the whole game. And Bosa had Tua in hell. Bosa had 3 sacks, a forced fumble, 3 solo tackles. And you could just see by the way Tua was playing that he was really rattled that game. Shook the entire game. And while he showed some flashes of the Tua that for the first time maybe I jinxed him. Tua for the first time this year I've spoken about and given us flowers. And that looked really good and like he could be in the MVP conversation. He showed flashes of that, but just not even close to what he needed to win that game. He had, after halftime, he came out and threw 2 back-to-back interceptions on back-to-back drive. If that doesn't say that you're rattled, I don't know what does. Then after that, he got the ball back, and he got a 45-yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill in like a minute and 30-second drive, and it showed why the Dolphins are so explosive and how dangerous their offense can be. But the turnovers just hurt them. I mean, 5 turnovers they got in the complete game. You can't do that and expect to win a football game. 5 turnovers, you're going to lose. You tell me any team in the world gets 5. I don't care if you're telling me the Chiefs are playing the Colts. Even though the Colts beat the Chiefs earlier this year, I don't know how the hell that happened. If you tell me the Colts are playing the Chiefs and the Chiefs get 5 turnovers, we'll probably beat them again. But we would find a way to lose probably. But you get what I'm trying to say. The turnovers just absolutely hurt the Dolphins. And, I mean, the Dolphins, I think that game showed if you're going to beat the Dolphins, maybe you don't do it by trying to get into a scoring shootout with them. That's what they want. The way you do it is rattling Tua. Make him not have time in the pocket. Figure out how to get a pass rush to him. And he may not be able to live up to that. And I think that's any quarterback, You rattle him, you get to him, you get pressure on him, you get sacks on him, that quality of play is going to come down. And I think we just saw that from Tua this week, and he came back down to earth a little bit. Now with the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. With these players, it's a very physical, it's a contact sport. So everything I'm about to say, I want to just precursor this. I hope Jimmy Garoppolo gets healthy. I hope Jimmy Garoppolo is on a team. I wish the best for Jimmy Garoppolo. Everything that I'm about to say right now is no disrespect to Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm just calling it how I see it. And how I see it may be wrong. It's just how I see it. You don't like how I see it. Maybe you just don't watch Garretts Football Show. If you have a way that you think it should be seen, I respect that, You can come and DM me, say something to me, Write in the Garretts Football Show and we can talk about it. But here's the way I see the 49ers now that Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. Kind of the same. They had their third string quarterback, Brock Purdy, came in. He went 25, and he came in the first quarter. So this is kind of a full game to look at. He went 25 for 37, 210 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. And I mean, if I told you 25 for 37, 210 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception, and I just put those stats up and said who didn't do him, didn't say the name, you could say that's Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, the 49ers aren't one of those teams that need their offense, that needs their quarterback to win them the games. I've been saying that all year. They live and die. They don't live and die, but they live off Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel, who had great games. They live off their defense. who had probably maybe arguably one of the best games of their season. That's just the team the 49ers do. So I've been seeing like all the time, oh, Jimmy G is out. Oh, the 49ers. Oh, it opens up the NFC. Oh, so many teams in the NFC have such an easier road. The Cowboys, the Eagles, whoever else, Vikings, but I don't even think them, but have an easier road to the playoffs, an easier road to the Super Bowl. Not necessarily. I mean, if Brock Purdy can, and if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I'm sorry, but if Brock Purdy can put up numbers like that or near that every game, the 49ers are still the 49ers. It's about Debo not getting hurt. It's about Christian McCaffrey not getting hurt. It's about that defense. Most importantly, Nick or Joey, I get them mixed up, but it's about Bosa not getting hurt. I think it's Joey Bosa. I think the other thing. Who cares? But it's about them not getting hurt. Those are the people they are living and dying by. So my thing that I think that the 49ers are going to get to the Super Bowl, I'm going to take that one step back and say I think they'll get to the NFC Championship game if Brock Purdy plays, if he doesn't lose them games. He just has to not lose them games, and I don't feel too different about the 49ers. They're still dangerous. Debo and Christian are getting better every week. That play caller, the coach right now, I can't think of his name for some weird reason, but the 49ers' main core of their team is the same. So I'm not too worried about the Jimmy G injury. I just hope Jimmy G gets healthy, and I hope he's able to continue his NFL career because you never want that for anyone. But I'm calling it right now. The 49ers are still dangerous, and the 49ers will still be dangerous in the playoffs, especially because they're a running team and the brand of football that they play. But that was just a great game. I didn't expect that from Tua to look like that, and I didn't expect for the 49ers to be that dominant. So that was one of those ones I was wrong about. 100% I've said on Garrett's Football Show. If I'm wrong, I'll say it. I was wrong that game. And the Dolphins, I'll say the last thing I'll say about them is they don't want to see a high-quality defense in the AFC. That is their problem. Them getting into scoring matches what they want, but you rattle Tua and you beat Tua. That's what I'm seeing. It's one game. It's not a big sample size, but that's what I saw. Now let's move on to my game of the week, most surprising game of the week and most entertaining game of the week, the Bengals and the Chiefs. So I'm going to start off 22 minutes in. I need to put more respect on Joe Burrow's name. And last year, when I was really watching him for the first time in the playoffs, one of the big things that I saw about Joe Burrow that I liked and was interesting to me, he would get sacked all the time, and he would immediately bounce back up off the field, off the pitch. I'm thinking soccer. I'm watching so much World Cup right now. Bounce off the field like a basketball. I just use three sports and one one analogy. But every single time that Joe Burrow, I got a little caught up right there. But every single time Joe Burrow would get sacked, he'd get right up. You'd see no face. He looked no emotion. And he'd get up the next play, and he would make it seem like nothing happened. His composure is amazing. You can tell during the game he's locked in, zoned in. He's never rattled. And I think this game, you could see that. And I think in the way he plays, you can see that. And that's something that I think can be easily overlooked. But it's so important and so big time, especially in games like this and especially in playoff games. You get sacked. He gets sacked 10 times, 15 times. It doesn't matter. He's getting right back up. He's going right back to the huddle. And it doesn't seem like he has no emotion, no being angry at anyone. He's not throwing tablets and shit like Tom Brady, which is, all right, let's get up. That play's over. Short-term memory. Let's play football. And that's just, he's a gamer. And that's just what I like. That's if I can give a compliment to Joe Burrow and say what I like the most about Joe Burrow, it's his composure and its ability to seem ice cold and completely in the game, no matter what is happening, no matter what the scoreboard is, no matter what the last play is. He just seems just mentally very, very, very tough. And I think as a quarterback in the NFL, that is something that is very important. But like I said, again, easily overlooked. And that game is even scarier when you realize the Bengals left a Tuddy on the board. That the easiest touchdown pass you can get. I forget who dropped that pass, but it just makes that game even scarier. All that being said, Mahomes is still the best QB in the league. I still trust Mahomes. In the playoffs. But Burrow and the Bengals may have the Chiefs' number. And if the Chiefs want to get to the Super Bowl, they may want somebody to beat the Bengals before they get to them. But Patrick Mahomes played a Patrick Mahomes game. And just one thing that I want to say about that game, Patrick Mahomes is a dog. And my favorite play of that game is the Josh Allen go get it yourself, fuck my body touchdown, where he just jumped and leaped and did the Jordan stance and just got sandwiched and just got that touchdown. That was just like athlete winner mentality. That's like what I say about Patrick Mahomes, is he just finds a way to win games. Like, whatever you're going to do, put the ball in my hands. I'm going to get us the win. 13 seconds left, 14 seconds left. He just didn't do it that game. And I know a lot of people don't feel like games come down to one play, but I mean, if there was going to be one play that lost that game for the Chiefs, it's two plays, but if it's one big play that lost that game for the Chiefs, it is when they had the lead, they got the lead back, and I think it was in the fourth quarter. Then the Bengals got the ball, they didn't score. I think they maybe got a field goal. No, they didn't even score. So the Chiefs were up fourth quarter, and the Chiefs got the ball back, and they were driving down the field. Kelce gets a first down. He's trying to fight for extra yards, and he fumbles the ball. I think at that moment, that is when the Chiefs started signing their ticket for a loss in that game. And then after that, the Chiefs get the ball back again, and they're able to, I think, at that point, tie it with the field goal, and they missed the field goal. And that's the one that's the point in the game that I think just took the air out of the Chiefs, out of Patrick Mahomes. He was limping off the field like when the field goal unit was coming on, and I think when you just saw his face after that miss, it just looked like the game was over, even though in reality it was still time left on the clock. You know, I think the Chiefs, the Bengals won that game, but the Chiefs also lost it, you know. And that wasn't usual Travis Kelce. I don't think Travis Kelce would do that again. I think that's an anomaly. I think it was just one of those flows of the game where you're intense, you're in it, you're trying to fight for extra yards, and it's just like you got the first down, just go down. But I mean, if that same exact play happening again, I wouldn't be mad at Kelce doing that. He's one of the best tight ends in football history. He is elite. When you have an elite player, sometimes they're going to try to push it too much, and you can make a mistake, but every single other time he pushes it, and I'm here talking great about him. I can't. It's why he's great. Great players, great people in any field, they push the boundaries a little bit, and when you push the boundaries so much, sometimes you're going to get hit. You're going to get bit, and I think that's just what happened. But that exact play again, I'm trusting Kelce to do that again and not fumble. But moving on with the Chiefs into like big playoff like implications of that game, now the Bills are number one in the AFC. The Bills and the Chiefs have the same exact 9-3, the same record, but the Bills beat the Chiefs in that head-to-head game earlier this year. And on that episode of Garrett's Football Show, I said this game is going to be important because it is probably going to decide where the AFC Championship is being played. And the Bills won that game, and the Chiefs now just losing against the Bengals and not having the top schedule anymore made the AFC race for these last 4 games even more interesting for that number 1 spot. And then, again, the biggest threat, and I would not have said this last week, but after just watching the game, after the fact that Joe Burrow has beat the Chiefs the last 3 times they played in this calendar year, I would say if the Chiefs play the Bengals in the playoffs, I don't care where it is, Chiefs may not get to the Super Bowl. If the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl, they need somebody else to beat the Bengals because I think the Bengals do have their number. It's almost like what the Chiefs have against the Bills. Like, it's going to always be a close game, but it's looking like Joe Burrow is going to figure out a way to pull it through against the Chiefs. But that being said, I said that the Chiefs need somebody to beat the Bengals in the playoffs so the Chiefs don't have to deal with those problems. I don't think the Bengals want to see the Bills. And I think if the Bills and the Bengals get in the ring together in the playoffs, I think the Bills will beat the Bengals. But now, I was going to say, especially if Von Miller's there, but Von Miller is out. I guess that's notable conversations getting done now. Von Miller is out for the rest of the season, so that makes a big difference for the Bills. But even that being said, I don't think the Bengals want to see the Bills in the playoffs. And this is something that I have highlighted now on my calendar for an early New Year's present. The Chiefs and the Bills, they play each other on Monday Night Football in January. I think like January 2nd or 3rd. Bengals and the Bills, I'll say it again, they play each other on Monday Night Football on like January 3rd. That game, let's highlight that it's Monday Night Football, so you're going to be watching it, but put that in your calendar, put that on your phone, make that alert. Because if the Bengals beat the Bills in that game, I know it's not the playoffs, but I'm going to have to eat a lot. I'm probably going to have to eat a lot of the words I was saying about the Bengals a couple weeks ago. But shout out Joe Burrow. Shout out his composure. Shout out his skill. Still shout out to the Chiefs. I still think the Chiefs are the best ticket to the Super Bowl in the AFC, but matchups are so big in the playoffs, and that matchup of Bengals and Chiefs is probably a nightmare. But yeah, shout out to the Bengals. They were the most impressive team this week, and Joe Burrow really impressed me this week. And I guess that's all I got to say about that. Now let's get into notable conversations. Just going to go through that fast. Geno Smith and the Rams bounced back, and I think them bouncing back after a loss shows that they're a serious team. They didn't come after the bye and start losing games. They lost the game, and they came back and won a really close one to, I don't know why off the top of my head I can't think who it was, but I think it was like maybe a division game, but like a close game. I'm about to find it real quick. Garretts Football Show, I have ESPN right on my phone. The Rams. Okay, the Rams are absolute trash, but that is division, so you gotta respect it. And it was 27-23, so the Rams put up points. But Geno, 379 yards, winning Tuddy with like a minute left. Great game, and shout out to them. But I also want to say the Rams may be the worst Super Bowl team, year after Super Bowl team I've ever seen in my 22 years of football. Moving on, Bucks. All it is wins and losses in this league. And you may not like the way the Bucks are winning. I don't like the way the Bucks are winning. But Tom Brady figures out a way to win. It don't matter if it's in the fourth quarter with 10 seconds left. It don't matter if it's in overtime. It don't matter how you do it. It's about wins and losses, and Tom Brady figures out a way to win. If you think because they look bad, because they're having problems, because that defense is bad, because they're 6-6, the Buccaneers are going to be an easy beat in the playoffs, I don't know if you've been watching the same Tom Brady that I've been watching since I was a little boy, like 5 years old. You haven't been watching that same Tom Brady. I said it last week, said it the week before, I'm saying it again this week. If it comes down to it, and it's a close game, and it's Tom Brady playing, he's going to figure out a way to win. I think they're still dangerous in the playoffs. The wins don't look good, but at the end of the day, do the wins really need to? You can look good as you want if you lose. Who cares? You lost. You can look ugly as you want if you win. Shit, other people may care, but me being the winner, I don't give a fuck. I'm winning. I can look as bad as you want. And I think that's the best way to describe the Buccaneers right now. They don't look good, but they're winning, and they're at the top of their division, and they're going to get to the playoffs, and they're going to have a home playoff game. That's all you can say. Commanders are like that. They tied the Giants, and I think that was a good tie. I mean, a tie is never good, but it's a good game. The Commanders are like that. Shout out Commanders. Shout out Terry. Shout out to Terry for getting away from Carson Wentz. I don't know what you were thinking when you had Carson Wentz or how you were feeling, but even I forgot about you a little bit, how great you were with Carson Wentz. Shows what a good quarterback because I don't even know. Taylor Heineke's a good quarterback, but it shows with the quarterback you have chemistry with, what you get from that. Shout out Terry. Shout out Knapp. You're putting on for the Nap even if the Colts won't do it. Again, shout out the Commanders. They look really good right now. And shout out to the entire NFC East, because last couple of years, everyone's been calling them the NFC least. And now every single team is above 500. So shout out to them. And that was the best win the Eagles have had, because they played a quiet good team in the Titans, and a team that plays good complementary football in the Titans, and they beat them. They beat the brakes off them. That was the best Eagles win. I don't want to talk about the Eagles too much because I don't know what the Eagles. I still don't feel convinced. I don't know that. I just don't got that feeling about the Eagles. But like I said, I mean, if I'm being in the middle and unbiased, who cares about my fucking feelings? Because they're winning games. So I have nothing bad to say about the Eagles. I'm just saying I'm not feeling it. I don't see it. Eagles fans are probably like, you can call me a freaking idiot for that, and I'll take it. But if you guys don't get to the NFC Championship, who's the idiot then? But the Eagles, shout out to the Eagles. That was a good win, an impressive win. And I can't really, with analytics and really knowledge and being fair, I can't say anything bad about the Eagles, and I can't give one reason why the Eagles shouldn't. I can't give one real reason why the Eagles shouldn't be representing the NFC at the Super Bowl. So shout out to the Eagles for proving a doubters and me wrong. Fantasy, I'm clipping this, and I never clip fantasy. And if you're watching this, alert, comment, help me out. Because I'm getting to the playoffs in my fantasy team, in my fantasy league, it looks like. I'm on an 8-game win streak. I'm 8 and 5. My record's good. I'm getting to the playoffs. But I don't have a playoff team. So my question is, and I'm not seeing a lot of players on the the waivers. So how do I get my fantasy team that I think is a little mediocre up to a playoff team before the playoff starts? And I've thought of some ways, is it calling some people in my league that I know aren't getting to the playoffs and trying to make a little deal for their players? Is there some secret that I need? But if you're watching this, if you see this clip, or if you're watching it on YouTube, comment on YouTube, comment on Instagram, comment on TikTok, wherever you see this. How can I make my fantasy team that is playoff bound better in these next couple weeks before the playoffs start to make myself obviously get the win and win my league? I don't think the team that I have now, while it's winning me games now, I don't think that it's going to be able to give me a win in the playoffs. And when I say win, I mean win the entire thing. So, yeah, I definitely need that advice. If you have been doing fantasy for a long time and you have any idea about how you, switch the team up, get the team doing a lot better in the last couple weeks of fantasy before playoffs, I need that advice ASAP. Yesterday, bets. I promised that bets were going to be coming to Garrett's football show, and I was looking at the lines a little bit yesterday, and I got a couple bets. These aren't big money bets. You're not going to win $1 million off them, but I think these bets are going to happen, and I'm confident in them. And again, these are no parlays. These are going to be, I want you to do these straight bets. I think I'm going to do one with what I have. I'm going to do one 2-leg parlay, but I want you to do these straight bets, and I promise you, no matter what money you put on it, even if it's not a lot of money, you are going to win money. And the way I'm going with these bets for myself personally, so with you, if you listen to me, is slow and steady. We're going to add a little piece to that rock every single time, getting up the mountain. That, when you picture it, doesn't make sense, so don't picture it. But you get the point I'm trying to make. We're going to do and build our money piece by piece instead of trying to win the lottery in one fucking game. So, first off, and I know everyone's going to be crazy when I say this, but Baltimore Ravens are plus 2.5, and they're plus money against the Steelers. And I know because Lamar's hurt, and I'm not even, and again, I was talking about the Ravens last week. Kind of fuck the Ravens at this point if they don't pay Lamar. I just thought I'd put that in. But plus 2.5, plus 118. I can't think of who their backup quarterback's name is, but he plays similar to Lamar. He's dual threat. He is not Lamar by any sense of the word. Don't think I'm saying that. But plus 2.5 is really good. And if I would take plus 1.8, I hate to say it, I would take plus 118 in a good money. I mean, plus money for the Ravens Steelers, that division game. You can't not take that. I feel like I hate to say it, I feel disgusting, but that should tell you how much I love you guys and I love the people who watch Garrett's football show, because I'm telling you to pick against my team. I'm going to tell you right now, this is for money. When the predictions come around in a second, it's not going to be the same. So I got that one. That's just a straight up bet that I want you to take. Browns at Bengals. I know I just spoke very, 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 very positively about Joe Burrow, and all that is still true. Plus 6.5 for that in-division game. And I know that Deshaun Watson looked like trash last week, and he got carried by the Browns defense. But plus 6.5, I don't like that. And with that, here's the 2-legger with that. I would go plus 6.5. I would take that spread with the Bengals. And then what I would also do is, and I'm looking at it now to remember, is Nick Chubb's over. I would take Nick Chubb's over yards, or I would take Nick Chubb touchdown, anytime touchdown drive, anytime touchdown scorer. Yeah, they don't even have his over yards right now. So I would probably say plus 6.5 Browns and take his anytime touchdown score. Those are 3 bets. You should parlay the little same parlay game I did for the Browns game. But, yeah, no. That's all AFC North games I just gave you. So look at that, AFC North. But, yeah, take the Ravens, I would say, without plus money. And maybe even the money line if you're feeling like it. If you're feeling a little spicy, you want to get a little bit more money in for you. And definitely take that Browns, not the money line, fuck no. That Browns spread at plus 6.5. And that Nick Chubb anytime touchdown score. I'm pretty confident about those. Now let's get into predictions. And let's get you guys out of here. 40 minutes. I'm starting to live up to what Garrett's football show was that first week. You guys should be proud of me. Raiders at Rams. That's the Thursday game. Raiders. Baker Mayfield is the new quarterback of the Rams, though. Who cares? So I got Raiders. Jets at Bills. The Bills aren't letting the Jets beat them twice, but the Jets' defense is dangerous. That could be a close game, but I got Bills. Browns at Bengals. I got Bengals, but I think that's going to be a closer game than what the Lions are saying. Texans at Cowboys. Vikings at Lions. I want to say the Lions so bad here. The Vikings should win this game. I'm going to say Lions. Eagles at Giants. I'm going to go Eagles. But somebody DM'd me and said this is a potential upset game, and I like this upset. I like the Giants beating the Eagles, and I think when the Eagles play the teams in their division in the NFC East again, I think they're going to – this is their first time playing the Giants, but I think the Eagles are looking for an upset when they play the Cowboys again or when they play the Commanders again. And it probably won't be the Commanders, so I think the Cowboys will do it. But one of these NFC East games they have, I think they're going to lose. But I don't think it'll be this one. I don't think it will. I got Philadelphia Eagles, but if the Giants win, I will not be surprised. Jaguars at Titans. I got Jags. Dolphins, and that would be a 2-game losing streak for the Titans, which would be crazy, but I got Jags. Dolphins at Chargers. Sheesh. I got Dolphins. Bucks at 49ers. I got 49ers, even though I hate betting against the GOAT. I wouldn't be surprised. Panthers at Seahawks. Chiefs at Broncos. Chiefs. Patriots at Cardinals. Patriots. The Cardinals are just so fucking weird, bro. I hate to bet against Kyler Murray as well, but I don't see the Cardinals winning that game. So, yeah, that's Garrett's Football Show, episode 14. The Dolphins may have figured out how to beat them. The 49ers are still okay without having Jimmy Garoppolo because they weren't living off Jimmy Garoppolo. The Chiefs do not want to see the Bengals in the playoffs, but the Chiefs can still get to the Super Bowl. Sorry about a little bit about all the Joe Burrow talk. Joe Burrow is a lot better than I probably was giving him credit for. And predictions are good, and I hope we keep that rolling. Fantasy, don't forget, if you see that fantasy clip, comment and give me fantasy help. And just watch Garrett's Football Show. If you've watched any episode, and if you watched this episode, thank you for watching. That's a wrap.